Maitreya is what, a Buddhist, isn't he? Or
Maitreya.
But Atreya is also a name. Maitreya is a student of Parashara.
Really?
Before the Buddha was even born.
So it's Atre.
Atri.
Also not Atri, and then that long name that I don't know.
Some guy. Some guy.
Bardwar.
Bharadwaj.
Bardwar. I knew there was that weird W in there.
Bardwaj.
Bharadwaj. I actually saw on the list someone's posting recently whose name is Bharadwaj.
Really?
Yeah. I was like, oh, what a fancy name.
Bardwaj.
Okay.
Oh, with his parents smoking.
So, Gautama. Om Gautama Rishihi. Om Atri Rishihi. Om Bharadwaj Rishihi. And then together even all three. One more time. Inhaling ah, holding on the top of the inhale, and exhaling so the Om is happening inside. Veda Vyasa. You know who Veda Vyasa is, right? Were you here for the first class? You missed the first class. We got to get that online so you can listen. Hey Luna, can you get that calendar that you got and pass around the picture of Veda Vyasa? So Veda Vyasa is he's a general, he's an archetype of guru. He was a teacher of all four Vedas. He taught Jyotish, he taught Puranas, he taught everything. They say he had a photographic memory. His father was Parashara, and his father would say something and he'd be able, would chant a mantra and he'd be able to chant it back perfectly, just like his father did. So it's just a calendar, and it's not like a photograph of him or anything, because he lived about 4,000 years ago. But
Parashara, the sage?
No, that's Vyasa.
Oh.
That's Vyasa giving diksha, because he basically initiated almost all the major lineages. He, so. So today's topic is houses. Which we've talked about lots and lots, but then, to get that deeper, in-depth understanding of houses. Let's see, what's your understanding of a house? you're a beginner and I didn't ask how things were going for you.
I'm generally following.
What's a house?
Place you live in.
Place you live in. Live. What does it mean to live?
Base of operation.
Base of operation. Luna, what's a house?
Well, according what I think about a house, and according to chart, it's a foundation. It's how it's an influence of how you relate with different things.
One of you three. What's a house?
Like, 30-degree section of the sky.
Yeah! That's the best scientific one we got.
The scientist.
Can't go wrong there. So, bhava. We can do it with if you look, it has the line over the A there. In Sanskrit, if a word has a line over the A, it's different than if it doesn't have it. So bhava and bhava are two different words. A little bit similar, they sound similar, but in the same way, bat and vat are the same word to many Bengalis. They don't hear the difference between B and V. It's linguistics. And bhava and bhava are two different words. Bhava means to exist, to come into being on a material level. And bhava is the existence, is the act of existing. That's a little bit more subtle. So a bhava, it's this 30-degree portion of the sky, and it rules a certain area of life that we exist in. It rules a certain amount of our existence.
Is that bhava or bhava?
Bhava.
The 30 degrees?
Yeah. Bhavas are what we study. Long A. Now, out of the dictionary here, I got existence, occurring, appearance. It's a state of mind, a manner of acting, conduct, the state or condition of something, the state of being, truth, reality. So, we can take our life and every place that we exist, we can divide those places of existence into 12 houses, 12 sections. There's the place where you exist as home. There's the place that you exist as work. It's not an attached concept.
Mm-hmm.
When we think of houses, it's like, oh, that's your father, that's the house of your mother. But that's the house where someone is existing. At this point in time, they're existing as your mother.
Mm-hmm.
At another point in time, they won't. But that's just that's where reality is existing as this energy at this point in time.
Mm-hmm.
Everything fits into those 12. Can they be simple? If everything fits in there, a little bit of complexity. But there's lots of little tricks to make it simple. So we got to get the tricks down. These little rules that make everything else easy. Now, the first thing I got here, actually, let's skip this first thing I have here. Let's go all the way to it says page 1.
To the mantras, right?
To the what?
To the mantras.
You enjoying those mantras?
Make it easy. Mantras. Mantras make everything easy.
It's the first. It's the page that says 1. House meaning. We'll start here first. So, if we look at one level of houses, there's 12 houses. First house is your body. Second house is wealth and sustenance. Third house is your effort. Fourth house is home. So that's one level of existence. But if we look at this next column of people, the first house is yourself. The second house is your close family. The third house is siblings. The fourth house is mother. Different significations when we're looking at it from that angle. If we change our perspective, let's say we want to look at it from the body. First house is the head. Second house is the throat and mouth. Third house is the shoulders and arms. So we can, the fourth house is the chest area. So we're dividing into a different area. If we want to take it even more internal to the subtle elements of ourselves, the first house is our strength. The second house is our speech. The third house is our courage. And the fourth house is our emotions. So depending how we want to look at the house, what element of existence we want to look at, each house has a different signification. But just look at the fourth house. It's the house on the external level, it's your home. On the people level, it's your mother. On the body level, it's your chest, where your heart is. It's your physical heart. And on the internal level, it's your emotions. What did they say? Home is where the heart is. So at this is showing us that these things exist in the same stratum of vibration. That how the situation with your mother, what your mother's like, affects what your home life is like. It affects how your emotional life is. It affects your heart. They're all connected in some strange way that you can't really see with your eyes, but through the houses we can see this connection between all of them. Okay? So the houses are powerful. They give us an understanding of, with the houses, we can understand what is connected to what in life. What energies are working with what. Because we have the archetypes of the planets. Now in the houses they start manifesting, they actually are physically manifesting in life. So let's go back to the first section. And the first section is about the chakras that we put these houses in. And there's 3 chakras, and we covered this a little bit before. So people that have already had class here, hopefully we can get a little deeper somehow, or you can memorize it deeper. Our first chakra is the North Indian chart. And if you see this chart on the first page, that's the North Indian chart. And what do we call the North Indian chart? You're a beginner. I'm expecting my advanced students to be telling us this.
Oh, I just looked on the sheet.
Quickly. I know. You're faster than them.
Complicated.
Complicated.
We were being courteous.
Huh?
We were being courteous.
Usually you want them to go first.
Yeah, but I expect you guys to be quick on this one today. Because this is easy,
Okay,
you know.
Okay,
Guru
and the
North Indian is what?
Brigu.
Why is it Brigu? Why is it not Venus?
Because you want the higher energy of Brigu, you don't want the energy of
It
Venus.
is Venus.
Is Brigu Venus?
It is, it's the higher form of it.
Oh no. Who's Brigu?
He was a rishi.
He's a Rishi. Connected to
Venus.
Venus.
Okay. All right.
He isn't, you can't say he is Venus.
He's connected.
He's connected. He's in the same line of Venus. Just like mother and heart are connected. Your heart is not your mother. Your mother is a person. Your heart is something that you're feeling inside. So they're 2 different things, but they're connected energies. So Venus is an energy and Brigu is an energy connected. But Brigu is a sage. And so we call this chakra, we name it after him. Because it has a very Venetian energy. And we want this, and Brigu was a famous astrologer. And this is the North Indian chart. Did you guys bring black and red pens? I mentioned black and red pens last week.
Is Brigu around the time of Parashara and Vyasa?
Yeah.
Same period?
Before, he's Parashara, he's Vashishta.
He's before Parashara?
Parashara is the grandson of Vashishta.
And Brigu is the same
Brigu and
generation as
Vashishta and
Vashishta?
all that time, yeah. So Brigu was around at that time.
Blue and red cap?
We don't
Mine
want
is
blue.
black.
So beginners, I want everybody, and I'm sure everybody can draw this chart. We can all draw it just because it's good energy to draw our chart. When we draw this chart, we go black for the outline of the chart, just like this. It's black with red. Now, in this chart, your ascendant is this house right here. And the ascendant goes into this first house as a number. So if your ascendant is Libra, then the number 7 goes here. And the signs go around in this direction. You guys got the black pens? Go ahead and try and draw this the best you can. Just the boxes if you can for the moment. If it's too much to draw more. So, if you turn to the next page here, you can see how the signs are numbered and how they fit in. Now what happens is, on this page I turned it on its side to show you that if we divide this right here, down the center, this is the horizon of the earth. And so when the sun rises, so if I'm standing, I'm standing right here like this. Okay? Right now, we're standing. If that's the sunrise over there and that's sunset, this is sunrise and this is sunset. So I'm standing right here with this in relation to where I am right now. So the sun rises here. At high noon, the sun is here. When the sun sets, it's here. At midnight, the sun is here.
I thought it
Okay.
was the other way.
Okay. Nope.
You know what would help?
Yes.
Because the sun isn't really moving around the charts, the houses that are moving.
No.
Wait.
Okay. So if you look
The love is
look for
moving.
the page on the page right here with this diagram. So if you look, that's sunrise. From here, 15 degrees up is the first house, and 15 degrees below the horizon. 15 up, 15 below. That's the first house.
Okay.
Then we have the next, after that 15 degrees, the next 30 degrees is which house?
12 house.
12th house. Next 30 degrees?
11 house.
Okay, so the 10th house is this 30-degree portion right here, right above us. Anytime the sun moves through that, it's moving through the 10th house. The stars are moving from our vantage point on Earth. We're spinning, and that's making the stars move. But from our vantage point, it looks like the stars are moving because we're the one moving. So let's forget about what really is happening and see what's happening from our perspective. From our perspective, the stars are moving through the houses. If we look from outer space down at us, this is the 10th house, and really the 10th house is moving. But that's from outer space looking down at us. But we're not in outer space, we're right here, looking up. So from here looking up, that's the 10th house, and the stars are moving through it. And that's our ascendant, and the stars are rising through it. The sun rises, right? Rises up and moves down. And the sun's a star. So in that way, it's moving. And so when we turn this on its side, we have to turn it on its side to get that feeling. Otherwise, when we turn it right side up, what do we get? This is the daytime, this is the nighttime. How are we as physical beings? What's this side of us ruled by, and what's this side of us ruled by?
Moon and the sun.
Moon and the sun. So our right side is ruled by the sun. Our left side is ruled by the moon. If we look at our internal channels, we have the sun and the moon channel. So this right here is showing right eye and left eye. Our sun and our moon. So this is divided by standing up straight, because we're not laying down on our side. So this is it's calculating how the houses are staying the same and the signs are moving through them. At the same time, it's turning it upright so that it looks like a human being. Okay? Because otherwise, we'd be looking at it from this way. If it was laid as the earth is, then we'd be saying this is our one eye, and this is our one eye, and this is our head here, and we'd be looking at ourselves sideways. So it's turned this way to be like a straight human being. Yet, from the earth perspective, we have day and night. Okay? Makes sense?
But the right side is ruled by the sun, and it is also the night time. Is it?
If we look at this is the nighttime.
Yeah.
But we're looking, from this way, and yeah.
Look at it like
So why
this.
is
It's conceptually.
Here's the right side. Where the 10th house is, that's where you see that? This is the dark side.
Okay.
So when the sun is over here, you don't see it. When the sun is over here, you see it.
Yeah, that's it.
That's why he turned it outside.
On here, I'm turning it to the side, right side up, just to. Yeah, you're turning your paper both ways.
Then it's one side, but otherwise
this
over
way?
here, this side is ruled by the sun, but the night side. This side is ruled.
No. Oh yeah.
So when the sun's
why-
here, where's your sun? What house is your sun in?
$11.
11th house. So, if this is sunrise, this is high noon, this is sunset, and this is midnight. Your sun is, you said where?
11.
11, right here. So, approximately, what time were you born?
10 to 11 in
10
the
to
morning.
11 morning.
Maybe I got it wrong.
Why?
Chart could be wrong.
She could be
Okay,
looking at
look,
the-
so this is always the first house. This is house number 1.
Okay.
This is house number 2,
Oh.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Okay,
It's counterclockwise.
That's 6.
So the 6th house.
Yeah.
So about what time were you born?
8:35 p.m. Is
Yeah.
that wrong?
No. Okay. My
Alright, I shouldn't be looking at this. I should be guessing.
my sun is right here.
Okay.
This is the midnight point, right in the middle here. So about what time was I born if the sun was just entering here?
Around midnight.
Before midnight.
11 o'clock?
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
before 11.
Okay.
So if this is sunrise,
Mhm.
6 o'clock.
Okay.
Let's make an imaginary 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock to 7 o'clock. If you flip to the next page there's a diagram. From here, if that's 7 o'clock, then this is 7 to 8, 8 to 9.
Okay.
9 to 10, 10 to 11. 11 to 12. 12 to 1. 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, 4 to 5, 5 to 6.
Wow.
In the dark.
Okay?
Mhm.
So exactly where they're placed is corresponding to the time.
I want you to get an about
Okay.
for a moment so that you can understand. You see, what time is based by the sun, where the sun is, right?
Mhm.
So what we're talking about is time based on the sun. So we're talking about the sun being here, the sun being here, sun being here. Wherever the sun is, that's the time we're talking about. But moon can be here, or for example, Mars is here. So we can't say that Mars is at, 10 o'clock. But we can say that Mars is where the sun is at 10 o'clock. Okay?
Can you do that again? I didn't.
You didn't get that. Do you get that this is sunrise?
Okay, that's standard.
And that this is high noon? With the sun is here, this is high noon. What time, when the sun's directly above us,
Okay.
what time is it?
I knew.
Okay. If the sun is setting, about what time is it?
6:30.
About 6. We're going by
Okay.
6 sunrise, 6 sunset, just to make mathematical calculation easy. So if that's 6 o'clock, that means this is 6 o'clock. This is the important thing to understand, is to get this in your head, that this is not just some chakra that makes no sense. It actually has a substantiated reality.
So the 10th house there is 6 o'clock?
No, the 10th, this is the 10th, right?
Yeah.
This is the 10th, right?
Yeah.
That's the 10th is directly up. Turn the chart on the side, and this is the ground, and this is the sky.
Oh, okay.
So this is high, that's the sun directly above us.
Okay.
Meaning this right here is the sun directly below us on the other side of the earth. What time is it when the sun's directly below us on the other side of the earth? Midnight.
So can you point out midnight again, like where?
Right here, directly opposite. Sunrise, what's the Gayatri called?
Okay.
Muhurta. 24 minutes before, 24 minutes after sunrise. Brahma Muhurta. 24 minutes before high noon, 24 minutes after high noon. Vishnu. Gayatri or Vishnu Muhurta. Sunset is Shiva Gayatri or Shiva Muhurta. Gayatri is another word. Gayatri is 24 syllables. So when you say 24 minutes, it's like the Gayatri is the 24. Yeah. And this is called Kali Gayatri. It's the midnight. The 4th house. So that means if this is 6 o'clock, 6 to 7, 7 to 8, 8 to 9. And now it changes a little bit because sunrise is not at 6 and sunset's not at 6. But we got a general idea. Okay? So if the sun was right there, what house is it going to be in?
9th.
It's about the 9th house. Okay? So we have the first, because the sun moves like this, right? So we have Lagna, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, and then that last 15 degrees is the 7th house. And then the other houses are underneath of us. We can't see them. The fact that we can't see them means that they're darker, they're more inward parts of ourselves. Where these that we can see are outward parts of ourselves. Okay? But they're outside of us. Let's see, I got some exercises here. So let's look at this first exercise. Practice exercises. Now we can see that the sun is in the 10th house. Can you, everybody see the practice exercise? Sun in the 10th house.
Yeah.
We all understand why that's the 10th house.
Sun in the 10th house? Oh wait. Yeah. Leo.
Do you see it? Yeah. Why don't you throw numbers in here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And those numbers represent the numbers of the houses. Let's see. Older students, while I'm working with this, do number 5 and number 6. You're working with number 1.
Okay.
Or number 2 it is. Okay, so we got the 10th house. So the sun's there in the 10th house. Now if the sun is in Leo.
That's kind of dark blue.
Okay.
I want to leave it to the beginning.
Okay. Yeah.
Because this is the part I never understood.
Okay. So if the sun is here. No, your head.
Okay, like.
Right there. So if the sun is there, and it's Leo, if the sun is there in the 10th house in Leo, you with me? See that number 5?
Yeah.
That 5 means Leo.
Okay.
Right? Sign-wise.
Right.
But that's the 10th house. Never changes. It's always the 10th house.
Okay,
And this is always the 11th house.
right.
This is always the 12th. This is always the 1st. So if this is in Leo, then that means that's 5, 6, 7, 8. What's the 8th sign? Scorpio. So that means that the first house is Scorpio. Okay?
Scorpio's on their head.
Yeah.
Their head is Scorpio. They're ascendant. That means that Scorpio's rising. Okay. We'll do the same. It's the same example down here. So let's say the sun is in Scorpio. What house is it
He was
in?
helping me, okay, so that means the living would be Pisces.
Look at your chart right there.
7.
7th house. And what sign is it in?
Scorpio.
Because it's 8, right?
Yeah.
So what's the ascendant? Give me the number first.
2 is...
How to get 2? It's because 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2. So whatever the sun is in whatever the house, we calculate to this.
Okay.
So we can see that if the sun's in the 7th house and it's in Scorpio, that Cancer's the number 2, Taurus is going to be in the ascendant.
Okay.
Do you see? Are you
I
calculating?
do, I still have,
Yeah.
I'm trying to memorize
The numbers. Let's
Yeah.
get the concepts first. Just go say number 2 and then memorize the numbers later.
Okay.
Okay. So, and this 7th house is 5 to 7 p.m. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Here. You guys doing okay with those other exercises?
Mm-hmm.
How are you doing, Mark?
I'm following.
Okay. You following over here?
Yeah.
Okay. And we can see, it's a little hard to see, but the sun is in number 9 there. Number 9 is Sagittarius. What's the ascendant?
Which one are you on now?
Number 4.
Number 4. So what's the ascendant? You can just say the number if you want.
6.
What's number 6?
what is number 6?
Virgo.
Oh.
Okay? So you can see this and you know that's Virgo. So when the sun is at high noon above us in the sky, in Sagittarius, we know that Virgo is rising. So we can know what's rising just by knowing where the sun is, what time it is. So we always can know what's rising. So right now the sun is in Aries, and it's high noon. Okay? So that means the sun is right here right now. It's in the 10th house because it's high noon, right? And it's Aries, which is sign number 1. So what's rising right now? Right now as we speak,
Cancer.
Cancer is rising. 1, 2, 3, 4. Make sense? With me? You calculate that Cancer is rising right now? When the sun sets tonight, what's going to be rising?
Libra.
Libra. That which is opposite. Because the sun's going to be there, and that means right there is going to be the opposite, which will be Libra rising. It's important that we understand the chakra at this level before we start interpreting it. Because it's not just some numbers on a piece of paper. It's reality. It's something 10 times, it's something 1,000,000 times bigger than us. It's not numbers on a paper that are smaller than us. And we have to remember the bigger aspect. We have to let our mind expand to this bigger aspect. Let's see, number 5. In the next example, what house is the sun in?
Doesn't mean I'm right there.
No.
No.
What house is it in? 12th house. The house is 12. Okay? The signs change. The houses stay the same because it's North India. Now, if about what time was the native born?
Between 7 and 9 a.m.
About 8 a.m.
Early morning, right?
Early morning, after sunrise.
After about an hour, at least an hour after sunrise, right?
Right.
You follow?
Yeah.
You were right. You know, but just what's our next question there? If they were born November 20th, what would be the lagna? Where's the sun on November 20th?
November 15th and now Scorpio. Scorpio.
Rishika.
Scorpio.
Pretty good
Scorpio.
I'm born October 9th, and my sun is in Virgo. That means October 15th, it goes into Libra. November 15th, it'll go into Scorpio.
So it's a Libra rising.
No, that's an easy way to cut it off. The 15th.
Yeah, just it's
Oh,
14th,
Saturday.
15th, it's somewhere around there. So you just generally, that's why I said the 20th. That way it'd be you know it's
It's not on the cusp.
So we know that the sun, because of the time, we know that the sun's in Scorpio. So the ascendant is what? Scorpio's 8.
Uh,
9. I think she got you. And 9 is Sag. Okay. So, in the next exam, you guys were supposed to do that one. You should have been quick on that.
we did it.
We did do it.
We didn't want to give it away.
Oh, okay. In the next example, what house is the sun in? And you can only barely see the house.
What house is the sun?
You can see the sun. You can see it sticking out the side.
Very dark. Oh.
I know. It's colored. It's a colored image. That's
I
why.
forgot about April 1st.
Huh?
April 1st.
If they were born on April 1st.
Oh. If they were born April 21st, you mean?
No, number
April
5.
1st.
Oh, number 5. Where's the sun April 1st?
I see.
No, the lagna.
Well, first, where's the sun?
Pisces.
Okay. And then you calculate the lagna.
Right. So Aries.
So that means if somebody tells you I was born April 1st at 8 o'clock, you should be able to calculate their ascendant in your head. Correct? April 1st, you should know where the sun is. You know what house it's in. Thereby you know what the lagna is. Right? Approximately. You see, at that level, you get, and you know they could be a Sag or a Scorpio, and if you have to pick between whether they're a Sagittarius or Scorpio, you just look at them, and when you get good, you'll know. They're either Sagittarius or they're Scorpio. But if you have this much information and you only have to pick between 1 or 2 signs, it makes it easy. If you have to pick between all 12, it's not going to be very easy. Okay, in the next example, number 6, what house is the sun in? You can see it. 5th. About what time was the native born?
9 to 11 p.m.
And if they were born on November 1st, what would the lagna be?
Gemini.
So you see how important this chart is to understand what's going on in reality and how it's just a representation of the sky. It's not a fancy just diagram. Okay? Important thing to understand. Huh? Okay. Number 7. And this is homework right here. Make sure you do it. Look at your chart and see what was in the sky when you were born. What was above you? Where was it? Number 8. Over the next 2 weeks, take some time, cast a chart when it gets dark. Doesn't matter, before you go to sleep at some point, either right after sunset or in the evening, Cast a chart. Try and figure out what planets are in the sky and where, based on the chart, and go outside and find them. Find Venus. Go out there, see what time Venus is rising and setting. Try and take this chart and use it as a star map to go outside and know where the planets are. Make this chart alive, so that like when you look at this, you can know what the sky looks like outside. Get that connection between this chart and the sky. You can do it in this chart very easily.
It might rain.
Huh?
It might rain.
It might rain.
Always right.
We got 2 weeks. We got 2 weeks to practice this. So that's our Bhrigu chakra. Now we have other chakras that we use. And the next one we're going to look at is the South Indian.
How about this question? What times of the year is Jupiter visible in the sky?
Yeah, all these, look at, and it's going to change. So that's one that I want people to look at and experiment with. That's homework. And basically you got to cast some charts and start looking at the time, what's in the sky, what's in that visible part of the sky after sunset. So cast it for sunset and see what's in the sky at sunset. Like, and I'll even for the moment, let's see, let's cast right now. Who has a laptop? And sunset is right now. Sunset is at 1942. 1942. Okay. So I cast a chart for sunset. Jupiter's in the ascendant. So where's Jupiter when the sun sets tonight?
Libra.
Jupiter when the sun sets,
Mm-hmm.
it's going to be on the eastern horizon.
It's in the Lugna, so where point? Where's Jupiter if you were outside?
That way.
Alright.
Up that high?
Over there.
At
Oh,
sunset,
it's the other side.
it's just rising.
Well, it's 24 degrees.
It's those.
22 degrees.
It's just rising.
Yeah.
So it'll be over
On
there.
the other side.
Okay. Yep, on the eastern rising. Saturn is in the 10th house.
Right above.
So Saturn will be able to look up into the sky a little bit over towards that direction because it's a slight tilt. Remember? And so we look up right over above us in that direction and we should be able to see Saturn. And Mars is in the 9th house at sunset tonight. So where's Mars going to be? A little bit over. Beautiful. So you got it. So cast a few charts and use this. Make it real. Do some star watching to understand the houses.
So basically,
Huh?
Mars has been sitting in that area for some time.
They all sit there for a little bit of time. But it's going to move. As it gets later in the night, it's going to slowly move down. And Jupiter, at what time is going to be directly above us? What time is Jupiter going to be directly above? With that information.
Wait, where's the sun?
Midnight.
Sun's in
Midnight,
Aries.
yeah.
Oh,
Thank you.
Sun's in Aries.
Aries.
Entered Aries on the beginning a few days ago.
Right.
Midnight.
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 So basically, that's
Do you see how they got that?
So
Jupiter
that's
is
the Lugna.
opposite. Jupiter's opposite the sun right now. If it's sunset and Jupiter's rising, that means they're opposite each other.
Right.
Right.
That means when the sun is there,
Mhm.
Jupiter's above.
Mm-hmm.
So what time is it when the sun is there?
Midnight.
It's directly in the 4th house.
Noon.
Midnight.
When the sun is below us,
Okay.
it's midnight. It's the opposite.
Midnight.
Yeah. You got that down, Mitten? Yeah, so Jupiter, when Jupiter is here, the sun's going to be there.
Okay.
Right now. But it's changing. Different times of the year, it's going to be different. So right now, midnight, Jupiter's directly above us. So that means it's a great time to do some Tara meditation at midnight. Great time for that, yeah.
so basically
This
that
whole month, the whole circuit of Aries. That means that Jupiter's directly above, and what planet The planets in that 10th house are the best to do sadhana to. So the fact that at midnight Jupiter is transiting that 10th house, it's going to give some very strong Tara sadhana energy at midnight, which is the time that you're supposed to do Devi
So
sadhana.
basically it looks like any planet that has crossed the sun, as far as from a science perspective, will be the planet that's going to be visible in the sky during night time. You look at it.
Past the 180 degrees opposite, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Basically,
Yeah.
any planet that's waning,
Oh, waxing.
it's moving towards the sun.
So waxing.
No, because going away from the sun.
Yeah. So that's waxing.
Waxing is going away.
Waning is coming towards the sun. After
Waning is going towards the sun.
Yeah.
So it's past the 180 degree point. They're moving this way.
Right.
If the sun's here, they're moving this way. This
Yeah.
is or here's the sun. So this is waxing, this is waning.
Right. So when it's waxing, any planet
So
that's
this
waxing will be
if
visible
this,
at night.
if this is the sunset,
Yeah.
then that means anything that's here
Right.
is waning.
Is that
right?
waning or is that waxing?
It's
Depends
oh,
on
it's
the
waxing.
perspective.
It's waxing.
Waxing,
It's getting
yeah,
away.
right.
And so this is the sun at sunset.
Yeah.
So this is the waxing,
Waxing,
which we
yeah.
can't see,
Right.
and then this is the waning that we
Yeah.
can see.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
Okay.
you with me?
I was looking at the other way around. I was looking at this as waxing.
Yeah, but this is waxing.
Yeah.
But this is sunset, and this is sunrise. So this can't be seen.
Right. I was looking at this as sunrise. Okay. Same thing basically. Yeah. Any planet that's within 180 degrees from the sun.
That's past 180 degrees.
Past
from the
180,
sun.
yeah, will be visible at night time.
Yeah. Okay. What you got it?
No, it's just this whole waxing away. So
Yeah,
you'll
planets
see
have
it
this-
at night if it's coming closer to the sun.
Hmm.
But if it's moving away from the sun, you won't see it because it's in the daytime. Okay, you just got something.
So basically, if it's within 0 to 180 degrees from the sun, will be visible.
Will not be
Will
visible.
No, it will be visible.
Mm-mm.
Well,
Mm-mm. That's
Depends on. See,
the sun is moving. Okay, the sun is moving this. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because at sunset, sun is in the
Mhm.
7th house, and then
Yeah.
all those things 0 to 180 degrees.
Mhm.
After 180 degrees, it's not visible.
Yeah. South Indian.
That peak.
The what?
It's a peak.
Well, an important thing that I teach is you got to know them all. You'll go to some schools of Jyotish,
Yeah.
and they'll only use the South Indian. You throw a North Indian up there, they all grab their heads. I can't read that. Please give me a South Indian. You know, they freak out.
That's right.
Or vice versa. The South Indians, they freak. You see it at the conferences.
All the time.
Everybody screams. No, I can't understand. We don't play that game. We have to understand the north and the south and the east.
There's no west?
Yes.
Not that I know of. There's so many.
You can talk of one.
There's one. Actually, I won't do it. I can't confuse people now. There's a whole bunch of them. These are our primary ones to use.
You don't want to confuse us more than we already are.
Well, I don't want to confuse. I don't want to. But there's ones that are stars. There's ones that are turtles. There's ones that are swastikas.
Oh, the turtle
there's-
one, I know that one.
Yeah.
Tibetan.
Well, where does Ben get it from?
Indigenous.
Yeah. That's why there's some Indian symbols and swastikas on it. And conch shells, because there's so many conch shells in Tibet.
There are.
I always wondered about that,
There are.
Imported from the ocean regions of India.
The Himalayas were the ocean.
Yeah, but they have like conch shells on. Anyway, you Tibetan
They
music.
were the ocean. Because of the flood.
So this is North Indian. The houses stay the same. The signs are moving through them. Now, the last class, when we focused on Rashis, we focused on this chart. Can you guys see this chart okay from that angle?
Sort of.
Okay. Well, it's in there too. But in this chart, the signs are always staying the same, and the houses are moving.
Both charts.
Nope. This one, the houses stay the same, and the signs move.
Okay.
This one, the signs stay the same, and the houses move. So for stationary, this one house is always the same. This one sign's always the same.
Oh.
This one sign's always different. This one house is always different.
Okay.
So this would be from the point of view of the stars.
Yeah.
You're standing off the earth looking,
Exactly.
not when you're standing on the earth.
You could say this is from here looking up. This is from up looking down. And it's Venus, the Asura-charya, the guru of the demons. You know, from the earth looking upward. This is God looking down, Brihaspati, guru of the gods. So this little line right here, that shows that it's the first house. And when we start doing lots of just, you know, because once we have a good group, we'll just throw charts up and we'll just look at charts. I'll be changing what charts we're looking at. Sometimes we'll use that, sometimes we'll use this, sometimes we're going to use this one, which I'll explain in a minute. And you have to be able to sit there and loosen up your mind and go from fixed houses to fixed signs. And it makes it so we don't get stuck in a way of perceiving. Because the reason that people like rip out their hair and complain that it's the wrong chart, it's not the wrong chart. They got their mind is only focused on one way of looking at something. We want to be able to look at it either way. And by being able to look at it either way, we get flexibility in our perspective. And that flexibility is something very important that we want to develop. Very important. So this is the ascendant. Now if we look, ice cream guys here, anybody want ice cream?
Ice cream.
Sorry.
Oh, here's at the phone.
Got our peanut butter cup.
There's an ice cream guy that drives around. Okay, so down here, in the example. So we see the line right there. Now in this chart, we're moving, you see this one was counterclockwise, this one is clockwise.
Wait a minute. Do that again, counterclockwise?
This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this one is moving counterclockwise.
But the planets are moving clockwise in that chart.
Yeah. But the houses, the direction the houses are going. 1, 2, 3. House. You know, this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, that's 4.
Got it.
Where here, this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4. So if we look at the numbering of the houses, that's what we're talking about at the moment.
Okay.
House day. Okay, so if we look at this first example chart, we see that there's this corner marked. Any of the beginners, what sign is that?
Gemini.
Gemini. So Gemini is the first house in this
So
chart.
Wherever that line, I thought that line signified the ascendant.
That is.
That's
The
always
ascendant
first,
is the first house.
The ascendant is always the first house.
Ascendant's always the first house. Just how you display that information changes. So that means that's the first house, because that's the ascendant. It's still that part of the sky.
Okay.
It's still, the 10th house is always this part of the sky. It's just, here, we're making that part of the sky move. Where in the other one, the sky stays the same and the signs move. Where here, we're making the houses move. Okay? So if that's the first house, where's the sun?
Virgo.
Huh?
Is it Virgo?
Fourth house.
It's Virgo. Good. In the 4th house. Correct. I haven't heard anything from you. How's it going? Are you getting this?
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%?
Yeah.
Which one have you used before in the past?
No.
South. But you got the North Indian, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just more to do. He did it.
You got to get used to it. And basically, it's like anything. If you've never seen a car before, you got to learn how to use it. If you've never ridden a bike, you got to learn how to ride it. But once you learn how to ride a bike, you know how to ride it. Once you learn how to drive a car, you know how to drive a car. And so each of these chakras, it takes a little bit to get to drive them, to learn how to make them work. It's a yantra. A car is a yantra, this is a yantra. Once we learn how to use the yantra, it'll get us very far.
Chakra and yantra mean the same thing?
Similar. A chakra is a yantra.
Chakra means wheel?
Yeah. A chakra is a yantra, but a yantra is not always a chakra. Yantra is a broader term. Yantra literally means a vehicle. Or a vehicle or a machine. Or a device that helps us get something done.
Okay.
So a car is a device that helps us drive. Your blender is a device that helps you blend food. Your pot is a device that helps you cook food. They're all yantras. A mandala is a circle that's a yantra, but it's a mandala, it's a circular diagram. So it's a type of yantra. This chakra, you have your chakras in your body. And so they're mechanisms, they're machines to move energy. When we draw them out, they're machines to perceive energy. So this is a machine. This yantra this chakra here is a device that we're using to draw what the sky looks like. At that level, it's a yantra and a chakra. Okay? Okay, number 9. Did we just go to number 9? Yeah, number 9. In the next South Indian chart, which sign is the Lagna?
Leo.
Good. You got that? Okay, you guys got the South Indian. After the last class, huh? You studied your notes? Is that how you got this?
I did read it, but it seems pretty obvious.
Okay, good. Obvious and getting it are two different things.
That's true.
And the sun is in what sign and what house?
Aquarius, and it's in the 7th house.
What sign? What house is it in, Mark?
7.
Okay, good. Okay, so and I just have a diagram here. We're not going to go over it because we got lots to cover today. But Bhrigu Chakra, the South Indian chart, where I primarily use it is for Vastu, Feng Shui type of stuff. Whenever we lay a chakra on the ground, we always use the South Indian chart.
Brihaspati.
What did I say?
Brihaspati.
Oh, Brihaspati. Sorry. We always use the South Indian.
How do we calculate the ascendant for that?
For what?
For this, like...
There's no ascendant. It's your ascendant. If it's your house, it's your ascendant. If it's my house, it's my ascendant. So bottom line is, it goes in the directions. Aries is which direction? East. So it would be in this direction right here. So we have, it'd be sitting in this direction.
That's east, that's east. That's east.
And Cancer is north. So we set it up according to the directions.
So based on where the sun rises and sets, the whole thing will change the chart.
Well, where the sun rises and sets is based on the directions, which can go on to anything.
Yeah.
We're not going to go into this too much, but if you want to read it over and play with it to help get more into that and understand it, is what?
The bed should be here in front of the fireplace.
Actually, the fireplace is in the north, and according to Vastu, fireplaces shouldn't be in the north, because the north is the area of money. And if you light a fire, and it's water, if you light a fire there, you're burning up your water and you're burning up your money. Yeah. So I'm actually going to turn that into a bookshelf and like.
Pretty fire.
Say again?
So the
Best place to put a fire is in the fire coma.
So this chart is based on the owner of the property or the resident of the property?
Depends on who's living there. I mean, if you're renting from apartments, the whole apartment complex is the owner's. Your apartment is you. Yeah. If there's two people living in an apartment, it's the person whose name is on the lease.
Primary resident.
Yeah. But yeah, there's some, take that home and study that a little bit more. Then East Indian. So this is our East Indian chart.
I just have a question.
Yeah.
Is it okay to have the fireplace in the west?
What?
Sure. That's where we have ours. Sure, not burning.
To me, as long as it's not burning up your money.
Fireplace is in the north of my house.
Yeah?
Stop making fire.
You burn
Yeah,
fires
stop
in there?
making fire.
Nope.
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 Put books or cover it up,
I
like
put plants around it.
put plants around it. Put a little water fountain in it. Get rid of that fire vibe.
So the water fountain should be in the north direction. If you have
Yeah,
a little
water
little
fountain's in the
fountain in
north.
your okay.
I got one in my bedroom in the north.
Okay.
Put your shrine in there.
Huh?
Put your shrine in there.
It's been a great discussion what we're gonna do in there. So, East Indian. Okay, the East Indian is supposed to be like the sun. Some people have told me that this is less used. But you know what? Maybe there's less books in America on it, but it's definitely not at all less used. I mean, more than a third of India uses this chakra.
You mean all of East India?
Yeah. So, and how many people are in India?
Yeah. More than us.
More than us. So there's more people probably using this chakra than there are in America. So to say it's less used is really kind of
Americocentric.
yeah.
Good luck where you come.
Yeah, and read the handout. Study it good.
Bye, Luna.
And actually
Good luck
get
on
Ajaya.
your exam.
Ajaya, give her your handout.
You got it.
Good luck.
Push down.
Oh, the top block, you think is?
Yeah.
Push on the.
Push down on the handle to
Push
the door.
Push down. Push it.
There we go.
When it rains for more than a week, it does that. Okay. So, this one, it's again fixed signs. So this is always Aries, always Taurus, always Gemini, always Cancer. The signs stay the same. But the big difference between this and this is that the houses go this direction.
It's like a combination of the two, kind of.
Huh?
Yeah.
Like a
So
combination of the
So
two.
the right
Yeah.
side is the first
1,
house?
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So ascendant's right here, so this is the first,
Oh.
second, third, fourth.
I like that, because
1, 2, 3, 4.
In that case.
Yeah, well that's because that's where the ascendant is. Wherever the ascendant is, but this is the direction that it's going. Yeah.
Oh. Got it.
Now, an important thing to see in this chart is signs. What are the chara signs?
Aries, Cancer.
Aries,
Capricorn.
Huh?
Cancer, Libra, Capricorn.
Ones that always do this.
Cancer, Libra, Capricorn. Do you see these are the squares?
Oh, so those squares will always be movable signs?
Always movable signs.
Okay.
The movable signs are always squares.
Got it.
Now, if we look at the fixed signs, let's look at the fixed signs. We have Taurus, right? Look at the triangle. Okay? It's moving in a clockwise direction.
Mhm.
What's our next fixed sign?
Leo.
Leo.
Leo. Look at the triangle. It's moving in a clockwise direction.
I see.
Next fixed sign,
Scorpio.
Scorpio.
you look at it's moving in this direction.
So what about the other,
Well, let's finish first. Next fixed.
Aquarius.
Okay. So it's moving in this direction.
You mean the stars, the
Triangle.
constellations are moving in that direction?
No? Just the point. They're all moving.
Design of the chakra.
Yeah, the triangle, like the point of the triangle is moving.
The point
in
of the
clockwise
triangle.
direction.
Oh.
Do you see that?
Oh. Oh,
They're all pointing in this direction.
oh, I guess it depends on which point you're looking at.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of weird.
Well, if we compare it to the other one, so if we compare it to the Dwishwabhava,
Mhm.
and we look at our Gemini,
Oh.
and we draw the point, then if we take this line right here as the bottom, right, that splits the two,
Okay.
the line that comes out, the diagonal line is the bottom.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
And then if we take this Dwishwabhava, it's moving counterclockwise.
Oh.
This is Virgo, moving counterclockwise. This is Sagittarius, counterclockwise. This is Pisces, counterclockwise pointing. Okay.
So what's that mean?
Basically, the Rajas, Tamas, and Sattva are standing out in this chart.
So the Sattvic ones are going in the opposite direction of everybody else?
Well, no. The Brahma sthanas, the movable, the Rajas energy signs, are right here.
Okay.
They're real big in squares, standing out. Just like in the North Indian, the Kendras, which are the Rajas Bhavas, are standing out. Here the Rajas Bhavas are standing out. Here the Rajas signs are standing out.
Okay.
Okay? And then we see a correlation here with the fixed signs, which are the Tamas energy. And they're all going the same direction. All Tamas signs are the same shape. All fixed signs. All Dwishwabhava, all Sattvic signs are the same shape.
Hmm.
Okay?
Which ones are the Sattvic?
Dwishwabhava.
So they're like
Gemini, Virgo,
They're Mercury.
Sagittarius, and Pisces are dual Dwishwabhava. But do you see how the shapes are correlating to the Rajas, Tamas, and Sattva, and how that's standing out here, based on the sign. Where here it's standing out based on the house, here it's the sign is becoming predominant. So the signs stay the same in that way.
Okay.
Okay.
So how is it on the Navamsha one that there's not a lagna? On the, how?
Because someone just wrote it in.
Oh, okay.
What did you ask?
Well, there's no ascendant, so I was thinking that it was...
No, somebody needs to be written in.
Or it has to be written in like that.
Okay,
I have to
so
figure it out
like this house.
by looking at it.
so we have this chart here. So our first example chart in the East Indian chart. What house is the sun in?
8. No,
1, 2,
7.
3, 4.
7.
7.
Where are you getting 7 from?
The ascendant.
Huh?
How do you
Oh, the
know where the
ascendant?
ascendant is?
You said
No,
where the sun
you're-
is, right?
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, where's the sun?
From
Isn't it the
the
seventh
seventh
house?
Well, the ascendant's always the first house.
Okay. Sun's in the fourth.
Fourth.
Sun's in the fourth.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Right, right.
What sign?
I thought this was always the first house. That's not.
No.
Oh, this one.
Sign.
Whatever the ascendant, the signs stay the
Where it
same.
says AS.
Yeah, yeah.
The signs, it's similar to South Indian, but direction of North Indian.
Okay.
And that gives us East
So this
Indian.
is always Aries.
That's always Aries.
Okay.
Yeah. So the char signs are always these 4 middle ones, the 4 boxes. You guys following? What sign? What sign is the sun in?
7 side and right after
No, 7.
Virgo.
Just doing freedom chart.
Oh, okay. Good.
It's Libra, right? Sun is in Libra?
No, the sun is
Virgo.
Virgo.
Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo.
That's
Going the opposite way.
The opposite way on the chart.
It goes
Kind of.
counterclockwise.
Look at this one.
The house is in-
The signs are fixed.
Oh, it goes the other way now?
Yeah.
Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo.
No, it goes
It goes in the same direction as
1, 2, 3,
the,
4, 5, 6.
Aries,
Virgo.
So this one's
Taurus,
Cancer or
Gemini, Cancer, Leo,
Cancer. Okay.
Virgo,
It's going
Libra.
okay.
But the one that left hand side, if we start Aries from, why do we start Aries from there?
That's the ascendant. ASC.
Okay. Okay.
This is Sanjay's chart. He's a Pisces Lagna.
Okay. So Aries is always this.
So his second house
Mhm.
is Aries.
it's so easy to draw this one.
Yeah, it's fast, isn't it?
It's really easy to draw.
The ascendant is Scorpio.
Okay.
No.
So, huh?
Sorry, go ahead.
We're going to take, we don't really need it, but we're going to take it just so we can work. I want everybody to draw by hand all 3 of these charts, your chart in all 3 formats. So that's our exercise that we're going to take a break and work on right now.